I was like, I thought I was giving them their flowers. I was like, yo, these guys are a couple little
Yeah.
knuckleheads, but they're good players. And then City Witty, this little bozos in my comment section, like, if I had that Supernova roster, no way that I'd be playing. Like, brother, you're not even in the league, man. Like, how are you able to talk about this? But
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Salt Mine. This one, we took a couple-week break and I lost it. This is Season 7, Episode 6 to round out. Probably going to be our last one of spring. I assume the next one, unless news breaks, is going to be our season primer for summer.
Yes,
so we got to get in here.
assume.
We got to talk about the finals, because I know we kind of blew off our finals episode, and we have to talk about the promotion tournament. So that's too much work for three people. We have brought along Coach Bach from you're still signed with Supernova, yes, Bach? Is that correct? As of today?
as of this moment in time, nothing has officially been announced yet. But yeah,
All
let's say I don't know if I'm allowed to leak.
Spring Supernova Coach Bach. How about that?
There we go. Sounds good.
NACL
right.
Coach Bach. How about that?
It's we're allowed to say it now, but Gordo, you're not on a very good record of talking about things when they're maybe not supposed to be talked about.
That is correct.
If you guys didn't
first of all,
catch
before we get into this conversation, Bach, would you rather
Oh,
just
God.
re-record the first minute, or are you good?
I'm chill. That's completely fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll
I
be
mean-
good. It's early enough that we can hit the reset
well,
button.
so and in ACL Grand Finals, before we left and we were done for the night, Gordo was like, "Make sure to catch the promotion tournament. Quax is on there," and it hadn't been publicly announced because as of recording this, it was announced yesterday. And I just looked at the camera and I was like, and he was like, "Was I supposed to know that?"
Damn it, I tuned out.
Did say a word.
That's
I was just like, "You're on a roll."
I know, dude.
Wait.
Poly market psyop.
Speaking of which, speaking of ACL Finals,
Yes.
do we
Oh,
want to
boy.
fabricate? Do we want to start some beef about?
Bach,
Or
you're
is
5
that-
minutes in. You want to start some beef?
if you
Go
want-
ahead,
no,
dude,
yeah,
honestly,
so-
please.
Yeah. So I am in an awkward position there. Because I
Yes, you are.
I weighed in on the decision. But if you guys want to talk about it, I will kind of like sit here and kind of remove, because I don't want to weigh in either way on what my opinion is, because it feels like, you know, either I'm just like towing the company line, or I'm throwing.
Honestly, I feel like
colleagues
we're
under the
okay.
bus.
Honestly, I feel like we're okay skipping that. Like I am
That's fine.
okay with it, just because I feel like it's a thing with not a ton of like discernible or like lasting consequences, in my opinion. Like, yes, in my opinion, and in Aegis's opinion, because their staff factually said it, like they messed up. So like, like for me, being able to own up to that is like the thing that matters most to me. And
let's chat about it a little bit. Especially if Bach
Okay,
wants
you
to
know what,
talk
fine.
about it.
Guys,
Okay.
I'm just here to instigate whatever Bach
Me
wants
too.
to say.
Well,
I'm
fuck,
here to
man.
help. I'm just here to instigate. I want to hear Bach say stuff. I don't think anyone. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Bach,
like-
who you calling out, bro? Let's. What's
I mean,
going on?
okay, listen. I have to say this right now.
Go ahead.
I'm not trying to be a dick,
No, you're not.
and obviously, I'm about to say the word "but," and then what people say is like, once you say the word "but," it kind of like negates the part before that, right? But here's my thing:
Right.
people are always crapping on Liga Ace, like they can breathe wrong, and then people are like jumping down their throat. It's the grand finals of your highest promotion, like your highest level tournament, and you can't track bans correctly. Like, this is just not a good look if we're trying to make ACL the big tier 2 tournament, right? Like, this just can't be it, guys. Regardless, like, you're right, it's not the end of the world here, but I mean, I just got to call balls and strikes. Like, we don't have the ABS system like they do in the MLB right now. So I just got to call it like I see it. I know they do good work, and without tournaments like that, we would be worse off. But it kind of did rub me the wrong way that was
It
like
harms the
resolution
integrity
they
of the
went with.
tournament. I think that is undeniable, but I also think that Aegis is smart enough to patch that hole going forward.
I agree. But it's just like, hey, come on, guys. Like, I'm not gonna boycott them and talk shit on Twitter for weeks like some people do. Like, hey, shout out like NovaBot, generational level instigator. Like, I'm not gonna be on
That
that level.
guy,
Of hate.
Dude,
I'm just gonna be like,
nobody tell Novabot about ACL Finals. I just assume he doesn't know because he hasn't mentioned it yet. So yeah, if you're yeah, that's the last thing we need right now. But no, I think the criticisms are fair. I don't think anybody on staff would disagree with those criticisms. For context, for anyone who doesn't know, there was some controversy around the ACL Finals. Just to give like a factual recounting of the controversy, the free agent tokens concept, which is recently introduced to track, the emergency sub tokens, not the free agent tokens, which is a recently introduced concept to limit how many emergency substitutes from outside the roster teams could bring in during the playoffs. There was a mistake in tracking how many tokens had been used by Team Apex coming into the finals. They were mistakenly informed that they had one more token available when they did in fact not. This was discovered the day of the finals, and the call was made to allow them to make the substitution despite not having the token, because the league had informed them that they did have the token and scheduling had been determined around that. I think that's as objective as I can be without getting into how the decision was reached.
of course.
Yeah. And they won anyway.
Exactly, right?
Well, the team that got the eSub won. So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
think the eSub was unfair, you're not happy with the result, probably.
Right. I mean, and it was really funny too. And I think we could talk about this, but like it's during the broadcast, like, you know how you're not supposed to do this during cast. Like, it's one of the, I think, unwritten, unspoken rules about casting is that you're not supposed to look at the chat of the game you're casting while you're casting it. It's just not a good idea. But like between the games, you can do like when you're on break. And like I would look at it between breaks, and every time I would, there would be like a literal war about how this entire game and this entire series was unfair as fuck. Shout out to Colthrow for fighting the good fight for basically 5 hours straight because it went the full distance. And he was battling all 7 rounds, bro. Like all 9 innings, he was in that shit, putting on his best performance to fight injustice as he saw it. So like that was funny.
Did I just hear Quax make back-to-back sports references at that point? By the way, where am I? Bro?
I don't know that I fall on the same end of the call throw opinion.
Dude, I was entertained. I don't know.
Like, dude, there's what's that Twitter meme about? Like this hurts your cause, guy who hates you and your cause. Like that's
worst person you know.
I feel like I just sound like that guy.
The worst person you know made a great point. Yeah, that meme.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just I feel like I sound like that guy. But boy, yeah, that was a big. As someone who's modding chat frequently during ACL streams, boy, that was a lot in that. There's a lot of comments from Colthrow in that chat.
Racking up chat numbers. All right, well, let's pivot from, I guess, controversial grand finals to the non-controversial one. We could talk about the NACL grand finals and a congratulatory. What a turnaround for Conviction. By the way, Gordo, let's take our victory lap, dude. We had them won. We always knew that they were gonna rebound and win the whole split, right? You never wavered from Conviction #1 power rankings pick. I never wavered. You never heard me waver on this podcast. Actually, there's no proof.
I don't
Do not
know that
go
I
back
ever
and look.
explicitly. I feel like every time we talked about Contingent all season long, I would have been like, the players
Conviction.
are really good.
Don't start this now. We're going to talk about Contingent later. Don't start this. Conviction, Gordo.
Conviction. Oh no.
This is going to happen. This is going to happen 7 times this episode. Yeah,
We've
I
had
know.
these teams together in Aegis before, and it never got any easier. Conviction. Yeah, I definitely had. Yeah, I don't think I ever spoke about Conviction other than in the context of, like, I think this team can turn it around. And sometimes in the context of, I don't know why they made that change. But you know what? It seems like it worked out for them. And hey, I had Insanity on my all-star team. So That's better than the broadcast did. So I'm definitely gonna take a little bit of a victory lap there. I mean, I think we called it out coming into finals weekend that we thought it was going to be. I mean, we thought NRG were going to make the lower finals, so we were definitely wrong about that. But I think we called that we expected Conviction to be in that final and that they were the favorites to win the upper final for sure. I don't know, man. It's like I think Insanity Tomio are just gonna like win every and Tactical. I guess put them in that trio. Insanity Tomio Tactical are just gonna win every NACL split until somebody does something to get these guys out of there. Either some of them retire or some of them hit LCS. Hopefully the latter. And until that happens, I think these guys are just gonna keep winning, man. And Sniper and Bounty definitely don't make it any easier.
Shout out to Bounty.
Yeah.
By the way, the fact that he was like able to come in, I think a lot of people during the initial roster move, right, the changes that Conviction made, like people were really uncertain of Bounty, and he came in and I think did very good. So like, shout out to him for like getting through the pressure and like managing to help the team clutch up. So I agree with you that the trifluence or whatever you want to call them of Tomio Insanity Tactical was like the big reason. But I mean, Bounty being able to just come in at like a moment's notice and I think perform well enough to keep up with his really talented laners and jungler is pretty cool. Like I think this guy definitely has a future in the NACL.
I find it crazy. Back to the Tactical Insanity Tomio point. They're winning all the finals. They haven't lost a game in the finals yet either. By the way, they haven't lost.
You're right, actually.
They're 9-0. It's filthy. That's filthy. It's a hard thing to do, Bach. I mean, I'm sure to not only just win this many titles, to be that dominant in the grand finals. I'm sure. Like, what's your perspective on this team?
What's my perspective on it? It should have been us, not CCG. No.
Yeah.
Realistically,
Okay.
What a generational fumble. This is like when the baddie at the party comes over and talks to you, and like so they're obviously interested, and then you just shit your pants. You just like right in front of her. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's like, man, I genuinely am still flabbergasted and stun locked combo of Doom. I thought, our series versus I have to preamble this because having Conviction as a first round matchup, I thought was already like a bit unprecedented considering, how strong I believe they were after the change. For one, the change to put Bounty in, I don't think was unwarranted. And that was not my problem with it. Like, I have no beef with Conviction. I think Bounty was what the team needed to succeed. I just didn't really necessarily agree with how it was handled.
Right.
It's kind of like the ACL Finals thing, right? It doesn't matter like the outcome. Like, the outcome is probably for the best. It's kind of just the thought process and how you handle it more than it was like the actual result. So, but yeah, CNV, I think very clearly going into playoffs should have been like the 1 seed based on like their current strength. NRG, they might have eaten the same like expired rice left out on the counter that we ate as well, because we just also shit the bed going into I don't know what happened. I'm losing my mind.
Expired rice is some wild shit. I've not heard that one before.
Well, you hear that, dude. Like, do you ever hear that wives' tale where it's like, don't eat rice that's been out, like even refrigerated rice. Like, you could die from eating like old rice. You ever hear that?
I think
wives'
I've heard
tale.
that. Is that a real thing, or is that like fan death in that it's like not something that actually happens?
Can you die?
Sorry to any
from
fan death
eating
believers out there,
old
but
rice?
that's not real.
Yes. Google AI results told me
Dude, you can
yes.
die from eating anything that's expired or bad or been out.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
a Twinkie never goes bad. Well, it takes a while for a Twinkie to go bad.
That's not true.
Does
Did
it
you
take a
watch
while for-
Zombieland?
It can go bad. It does, in fact.
I don't think Zombieland is a
bad.
documentary.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how much stock we're taking in Zombieland's.
What's
Fact
his name? Woody
versus fiction.
Harrelson or whatever.
Who
He
is
looked
your
like
who is your source? Jesse Eisenberg, sir. Like, yeah.
But yeah, to kind of answer your question a little bit, like I think Conviction should have won. I think they would have beaten NRG if it went there. I think they would have beaten Winthrop if they went there. I would like to think that if we were in finals, I'm not really sure. We've always in scrims recently and in like the regular season, we kind of found their number. Since they got bounty on, like we never lost like 5-0 in a block, but we were definitely kind of like losing like 4 games to 1 or 3 games to 2. So it would have been a series where we could take some games off of them. We wouldn't have rolled over and died like CCG, but we just found a way to do that much earlier against Winthrop. So I don't want to go into Winthrop, but yeah, Conviction, big props to these guys. They know how to do it. We could talk more if you guys want my thoughts, but I don't want to monopolize the time here.
No. I mean, always happy to hear from those who were scrimming against them and those who had to compete against them, even though only got to the best of 3 there because of the Winthrop incident. But other than that, I think CCG still had a real nice run. They got it to a 5-game series against Winthrop in the lower finals again. So, I mean, it's just an unexpected second and third place for certain. And I think both teams like just leveled up a lot compared to the regular season. I was really impressed with the depth that we saw from especially some of the CCG players that I just felt like we didn't see a lot of crazier stuff from, particularly like Fiji and Aojun. I felt like we're playing kind of the same stuff more. The regular season showed a few more layers over the course of many playoff games that they played.
You want a hot take?
Yeah.
I didn't think Winthrop or CCG raised their ceilings whatsoever. I think they raised their floors. The weakest players on both of these rosters were, I mean, for CCG, it was going to be like Fiji top lane. And for Winthrop, it was going to be like Zac mid lane. And the goal is to never make these players your star carries, but it's like, can this player not be the player pulling your roster down? And I mean this in a productive way, not like I'm shitting on these players. Every roster is going to have a player who, yeah, like right, like it sounds nice to say everybody's like the best player ever. It's just not true.
Yeah,
somebody's going to be the best. Yeah. Somebody's going to be the worst. And CCG's theme was always like having Dardoc pilot like the CCG flesh mech, and if he can do that, he's going to be able to like use the pieces he has, because Fiji does a very solid role. He will pick a tank, he will go down 50 CS in every matchup, he will lose first tower, but then he'll play team fights well and he'll create space for everyone else on the team, and that's great. That's what you need him to do. But that's not going to beat the best teams. That's not going to beat like Conviction. That's, I mean, I'd like to say it's not going to beat us, but they beat us in week 1 or 2 or whatever. So like we didn't figure that out yet, but yeah, like it's a way to play the game. And Winthrop, I think they are really good synergistically, but they lack the firepower. I think Denethor has the ability to get a really good matchup and carry one game. I think Mobility has the ability to get a good matchup in the mechanics. I like Mobility a lot as a player, but we don't really have like, who's the Insanity? Who's the Dardoc? Who's the Sniper? Who's the entire Supernova roster on Winthrop? You know what I'm saying? Like who's dragging them across the finish line against like a team that's at a higher level. So yeah, that's kind of like my spiel. Very good teams, and that's kind of what League at Tier 2 is about, though. I'm not saying this once again to disparage. I'm saying this to more teams need to realize it's not about making these flashy Twitter plays that are going to get you like Reddit front page. It's about how can we just not make the game unplayable and find a team identity to win the game on. And I think they did a really good job showing that that's what you need to do to get top 2 or top 3.
That's the Bach wisdom, baby. Yeah, I agree with that. I really resonate with that point that like, no matter what the team is, like somebody is gonna have to have like a perceived weaker role, or like cannot be like, yeah, you can't have five stars, and you could do the classic there's so many sports parallels to that sort of scenario too, right? Like every single whatever team you love and hold dearest to you, even like Tier 1 teams, like they had players that just filled the role they had to. I mean, for fuck's sake, look at T1. What do you think Doran does every fucking time that team plays, bro? That guy. T1. Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that. He's literally he's just like the Tier 1 Fiji. So yeah, that's great to hear. So speaking on that, I mean, I don't want to reflect too much on. I don't want to take us too far out and talk too much about like Supernova stuff, but I'm curious, like hearing you talk about identities, like what did you feel like your team's identity was trying to be this split, or maybe I guess what do you? I guess yeah, that's the question because yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great, and this my whole rant that I just went on was a bit of envy from my part because I think what I try to do this split was enable all of my players to be that potential carry if we needed them, and I think we saw that throughout the split, like these glimmers of hope where some games Shochi would smurf with like a crazy counter pick, and then you'd have Hoarder picking Vayne in the perfect angle, and then you'd have like I don't know, like Joseph Levitate having a pop off game. The problem is we got really good at giving everybody the ability to carry, but we didn't do a good job, or sorry, I should say, I didn't do a good job of setting like discipline and structure of, okay, sometimes one person's going to carry, but we all can't be that carry. Somebody's going to have to eat the short end of the stick in draft. Not every pick can be like a lane counter pick where it looks good on paper, and we have all like the Twitter analysts in the draft like, actually, I ran this through my AI algorithm and they win this draft. But you don't understand, like, a lot of these drafts are winning until you make one mistake and you die in lane, and now the matchup's unplayable and you don't scale, and now nobody in your team can create space and you don't have a win condition. So sometimes, you know, you got to think of the bigger picture. You have to be able to play the game and make mistakes like humans do, and that's something that we didn't do very well. When we were gapping, and it, like, I mean, as you saw versus, like, realistically, could you look at our matchup versus Conviction with everything, single piece the same, except for support where we dog walked them in like 20 something minutes both games, and then they swap out like one support, and now all of a sudden, like, oh god, it's unplayable. There's something else going on here. So I think that's something I didn't do a good enough job with as a coach. But you know, hey, we're the eternal student here.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That makes sense.
That's fun. That's fun. I mean, do you, Quax, I don't know, like, do you gents, like, how did you feel to get back to the grand final before we move on? Like, do you two have any fleeting thoughts about how that series played out? Like, how you feel about Conviction coming back and winning it? Like,
I think my only point would be in my never-ending crusade against the people who comment on Reddit that it will be never-ending because they will never listen to me and they will never change because they're a hive mind. I just think that Tomio needs another shot at LCS, and I say that as a guy who's like not even the biggest Tomio fan in the world. Like it's been weird seeing people like work backwards from the conclusion that like Conviction is a team of all of LCS veterans and you know shouldn't have been constructed this way when it's like especially Tomio and Bounty have like very low tier 1 reps, like sub 10 games tier 1 reps
right
for those guys. So I mean, and they were no small part of that victory, and Tomio in particular has been no small part of now 3 victories in a row, all of which going lossless. So I think he deserves the shot again. Like even if you don't think he's the best player, I think like systemically it's good for the whole ecosystem for you to reward this sort of performance. Like the fact that tier 2 to tier 1 has like not been an effective meritocracy for a very long time, I think is and people get to, you know, outthink themselves and just think like, well, it doesn't matter how many times this guy wins tier 2 because that's NA, and I calculate NA to be approximately 50% weaker than the LFL, so we need to get this player. Like I think this that stuff has been a bad thing for the league for a long time for reasons I've said many times. So yeah, get that guy in there, give that guy a shot.
I agree. I mean, I think Tomio deserves LCS reps for sure. I will also say I do think that I mean, I never say I don't feel good, but I also do think that it is really so okay, let me start over. So, you will never hear me complain or doubt or be on the opposite side of an underdog story or like a dark horse story. I love that shit. That like is literally the reason I'm a caster. I'm like vocal that the DRX run is the reason I'm here. And I think though that the like fact of the first 3 seeds getting insta bounced and then like 4, 5, and 6 being the guy. Like, it does feel a little bit like weird that regular season essentially just didn't matter at all. Like regular season, it seriously didn't, because if you took seeds off, right, and like those were blurred out from your ability to see the results of the playoffs, you would never have guessed that 4, 5, and 6 beat out 1, 2, and 3. And I just think that I'm not saying that I didn't like it, because I did, because it was very exciting. All of the Winthrop 5-game bangers, I was actively like shouting in the office when I was watching those live. Like, those were super entertaining, but it to me feels like people have already been under the impression that spring split doesn't matter, and I really don't like that. And I feel like this really goes toward the narrative of spring split really doesn't fucking matter, and the regular season really doesn't fucking matter, because it just didn't. Like, the first 3 lost when they shouldn't have, probably, and then 4, 5, and 6 just shit on everyone. So I don't know. It's like I'm a little conflicted about it, about like how the playoffs itself went up. I think the grand finals itself, though, like Conviction were favored to play that, and they were the better team going into it. So like, credit to them, congratulations to them. Like, feel really happy for those guys. I just think that the entire spring split, like, I feel very weirdly about it now that all of it's over and the regular season just like played no part in anything, really. Like, I just didn't, that none of that mattered, in my opinion.
I think some of that's just that we were a top 6, bottom 4 league, right? Like, I think in a world where there's like a battle between like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th for who get the 2 spots in playoffs, then like de facto regular season matters a lot more. But I think the fact that it's like there's a 2-match gap between 6th and 7th, like I think regular season is not really to fucking damn it,
My man.
I think that regular season is not there to decide whether like 16-6 game record NRG or 16-5 game record Maryville are like the better team. Like, that's what playoffs is for. Regular season is there to decide like who gets to play in the playoffs, and that was like a question I think we had answered by like week 4, which I think just contributes to that feeling for you, Quax. At least that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, probably.
Bach, you seem to have a point you wanted to make.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure Dorado and Citadel were in contention up until like the last week, weren't they?
They were.
Like,
Yeah,
mathematically, but I think
100%
it would have required like, I think, some goofy results.
From Dorado, yeah. I don't know if Contingent or
Conviction.
Haha, he did it.
I'm doing it.
That's half.
I'm doing it.
Yep.
Yeah,
to.
And that's just 2 we've noticed.
Yeah.
No. You will not catch. I will not do it. I will not do it.
Yeah, there was a world, I think we were talking about it, where like Winthrop doesn't make it, and then it's like Citadel instead or something.
Yes.
Yeah, like, I think that would have been a travesty. But also, I want to say, like, it's really easy to get like confirmation bias or whatever it is. Like, all seeding is like a probability. So like, I think looking at the bracket and seeing like Winthrop made a generational run, that none of these games were close. They clawed tooth and nail, 3-2, like full 5-game series the whole way up. So, if anything, you can like flog us on the back and flog NRG. Like, I love those guys at NRG, but man, getting 2-0'd by CCG and then losing to Winthrop as well. Like, we would never lose to Winthrop, but hypothetically, like they drop the ball. They are the ones who make you feel this way, Quax, Gordo.
Yeah, I think Quax's feelings are valid from a logical standpoint. I guess maybe this is just like the journalist or the caster and me. Like, I'll always root for the best stories and remember
Exactly.
like splits for the best stories. So I'll remember for the Winthrop thing. But don't worry, Quax. I have a way for you to logically not be angry. Okay, listen. Here's
I'm
how
not
spring
angry.
split. Okay, upset, disappointed, sad, whatever emotion.
Conflicted. I think
conflicted.
that's because before you go on, it's just like, I agree with you. Like, the caster in me loves the deep run from Winthrop, and like that's like the stories that happened in playoffs were great. Like, this was one of the best NACL playoffs I have ever seen, and I think people who have been in the space a lot longer than me would probably agree. But like, from just a logical standpoint, it just
It was just
doesn't
another
add
conviction
up.
3-0.
Right. So
yeah.
it's just like it's two sides of me that are like in conflict with one another.
So here, I got you. Okay, ready? Everyone says summer's the only one that matters, right? New format. The winner of spring starts to pick the groups for summer, which will play into the fact of who wins the summer split. They then goes to the promotion tournament for the LCS.
Yeah.
So
okay.
in doing so, conviction winning actually gives them more control over if they'll be able to win the summer title from spring.
Dude, the summer format
There you go.
fucking sucks, man. I'm sorry. Like I'm gonna save that for a
What's the
future
summer format?
episode, but the summer format sucks, dude.
It's like the pick who's in your group kind of thing.
So you pick two
Fuck.
groups. I'm not gonna
Oh,
get too
yeah,
much
yeah.
into why I don't like it, but you pick two groups, then you only play teams from the other group, but you're ranked against your own group, and then you go
Yeah.
and you play playoffs against the other group again. So the same 5 teams you've been playing all regular season, those are also the matchups you draw for playoffs, and the 4 teams in your group are impossible to play until winner's side semis. I don't like
It's
it. It's a bad format.
it's a new try. I know very well why Gordo doesn't like it. All right, but let's talk about a different format.
Okay, let's get to the promo tournament. We're half an
let's
hour
get to the
in.
promotion tournament. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get to the promotion tournament. For any new viewers, I mean, it's obviously great to have Bach here for a multitude of reasons, but Bach is here to jokingly serve the role that we've had of many promotion tournaments that was then held by Sneezes, who you all should know as the assistant coach of Blue Water. He was the promo tourney veteran, so we'd have him on here to talk about every promo tourney to give his thoughts. But the unfortunate thing is now, due to Blue Water's spring split, Sneezes is in the promotion tournament again. So we need to get somebody else
He's padding
to come
his record.
he's
we
padding his
say.
record of promotion tournament performances. So we need to get somebody else in here to fill his role. Not only as a smart, knowledgeable coach, but as a bald man to serve that role as well. And that's why Bach's here to talk about the promo tourney.
Jeez.
Been written in the stones. Only a bald man can carry this torch.
Can-
So here I am.
yeah.
If we can't find a bald coach for the next promo tourney, Gordo, I will shave my head to serve the role.
We could find a
No, I
coach
won't.
who'd be willing to do it.
I won't.
I don't know.
I won't shave my head. That's a
Let me
lie.
we'll look at the coaching roster when it comes time. Quax, you still there, man? You good?
I'm still here. You can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay,
As long
for
as
some
I
reason-
wasn't sure that we could, so I'm glad to confirm.
So it's fun. Okay, so my camera for some reason really doesn't like when I turn on the ring light. This happened during LPL English for the first couple of games.
I think I saw that VOD. Yeah.
I decided to chance it again here, and I think the light is the issue. So yeah, guys, if you ever buy a Razer webcam, make sure not to turn on the ring light. It will apparently die after a little bit. Smile.
Good to know.
Huh.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll get Quax back, but Gordo, yes, run us through our. I guess I forget how we do this. You might have a better idea. Are we doing this like the team? I forget. Is it
let's
like
just
we
talk
go
about the
through
4
each
teams.
team?
Let's like intro the 4 teams, and then we'll just talk about like, our
Okay.
expectations.
Wait, guys.
Yes.
Can we? Okay, sorry. Can we pause for 2? I'm gonna reset my PC.
Cool. Welcome back, Quax. Let's get into just talking about these 4 OQ teams, talking about the players. I know a lot of folks are going to be NACL only, maybe some even not regular NACL watchers. They're going to have a lot to learn about some of these upcoming teams, some of these upcoming players. So without further ado, let's go number 1 to number 4. Let's start with Lotus, the number 1 seed. First of all, I'll say take these seeds with a grain of salt because they didn't even like play the finals. They just qualified 2 teams from the winners bracket and gave first seed to the higher initial seeded team. I don't love that.
I don't love
but,
that at all.
Yeah. So you take the seeds with a grain of salt. But anyway, first seed is going to be Lotus. This roster is Geiger, Schernfire, Reppy, Shogo, and Mixture. And coached by
That's
Lindsay,
a roster.
who has been a long-time
yeah.
ACL coach. He's coached some very good ACL teams. Previously told me that he didn't really want to do an ACL, but I'm happy to see him make a go at it with this team because I've always thought that he should. He has made many a good team over the years.
He's got a lot of deep OQ running teams for sure. I guess I'll start off. I don't know if this is just going to immediately come off as flame. That's fine. This team will if this team will promote if Shogo and Mixture hard carry. That's my opinion of this team. In this field, I guess. I think like the crown jewel of this team, like the driving force of this team, is Shogo Mixture. I do think I have heard, I've watched tape. I've been sold that Schernfire is playing very well, and he's a very smart mind in the jungle. But I personally worry about Geiger and Reppy going up against a lot of these other solo lanes in this tournament.
Yeah, I think so. First of all, Geiger Schernfire Mixture placed second in the latest ACL. They were runners up. They played under the name Contingent Esports,
Which is so funny.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's gonna get real freaking confusing. It was confusing doing ACL, and if you ever talk about ACL on promo tournament, it's gonna be confusing there too. So apologies in advance for that, but it's not my fault. I largely agree with this likely being a bot lane centered team. I would not dismiss former pro Schernfire, who I think still looks quite good. He's one of those players. Sometimes when those guys come back after a little bit of hiatus, or in his case, he was playing over in Asia Pacific for a bit, you always kind of wonder what they're going to look like. I think he looked pretty good right out the bat. Finished top 12 C-Law with SCAD. And then he has some like unique high econ jungle picks that he will bias towards a little bit more than the average bear. Plays a little bit more Olaf, a little bit more Shyvana, a little bit more Jax. And I think he's quite good on them. I don't know that this is the strongest jungle pool in the world, and I think that could also give them somewhat of an edge.
I think jungle is probably the strongest role here, like pound for pound. Like I think.
Wait, hold on.
I don't think I think that. I think I just disagree.
Quax.
Yes.
Quax, we got to get the jungle. We got to get the jungle pill out of you on this one.
You really believe me? Who do you think? What role do you think is stronger?
I think it's. Yeah. What role do you think is stronger, Gordo?
For me, I think I would pick. I think I would pick bot lane, which Slayer now.
I would pick bot or AD carry.
Yeah,
I'd pick bot or AD carry. Jesus, I'd pick bot or mid lane. I would say are stronger than jungle.
Yeah. Well, so how about this? I'll pick bot lane and you pick mid lane, Slayer, and then neither.
Okay, so we're just because Box shaking his head. So Box might agree with
Are you
Box, help me out here.
Box?
Yeah.
You think it's jungle?
Yeah.
I think it's jungle on top.
Yeah, I think the parity. I think mid lane's highest highs are better.
This is across all 6 teams,
by
the way, right? We're all considering all 6,
Yes.
not just the 4?
Yeah.
Yes. Every one of these teams, I think, has like a strong contender for a really good jungler, regardless of whether, regular season NACL would tell you anything. But I'm not going to say any mid laner's like a stinker, but there's definitely what is it?
There's a gap. There is a gap.
Yeah,
there's a gap in mid AD carry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's a lot of good players.
I might actually completely pivot and say top actually instead.
I would say top lane's close. I still give it to jungle though.
Okay, all right. Well, my bad, Quax. You got the smartest brain in the call.
Has the most to be excited about. I don't think it's the best today.
I will admit that. I think that top lane and jungle are pretty close, but I just think like for me, I think the best player on Deathmark is probably Verdict. I think Karziak is a close second. I think Will is still a really good jungler. I think Kaido is a good jungler. I think
you guys spoiling all the rosters.
I think
across the board.
What the Sigma? What?
These are public, right?
How could you spoil it? How could you? How could you ruin my routine of going team by team?
Like,
what the hell?
Like Schernfire is good, Munchie is good, Bio is good. Like I don't know. I think all of these junglers are like good players.
Bio's been stepping up recently. Little birdies have told me.
That's what I think needs to happen in order for this team to re-promote.
I think
somehow,
some way, Bio has ended up back on Polestar. he needs to carry for them to win.
Hey, no pressure, buddy.
That I'll agree with. Okay, so guys, so let's round back to talking first about Lotus because I think I unfortunately opened up the can of worms about going role by role. So Quax, So I guess the consensus here, Quax, is that so you feel very strongly about Schernfire. But do you feel overall that if this team doesn't promote, it'll be the solos? Is that something you share as well?
I think it will be. I think that from what I have seen and the stuff that I am really looking out for on the solos is Geiger's involvement post laning phase needs to be more frequent, because in a lot of the games that I feel Lotus look their best on, Geiger is like a cameo. Like, you'll see this guy doing his own thing, but his actual involvement in the late game team fights, I think, needs to be stepped up a little bit. And then Reppy, I think the laning phase mechanics are not on par with some of the other mid laners. Like, I think that Asila can get the better of him in lane. I think that ABO is projected to get the better of him in lane. I think his ability to impact the bot lane is really, really good, and moving with Surenfire and making sure that Surenfire basically loses no resources for making a play and like the opposite team can't cross map. Like, that's really good. But if they shore those up, this team is NACL bound for sure. Like, if I can see Surenfire be more active in team fights and skirmishes going into the late game, and I can see Reppy shore up the laning phase a little bit, I'm confident in this team. But if they can't do that, it'll definitely be an Achilles heel that could prevent them from making it.
Yeah, I
Bach,
think.
or no, go ahead,
Go
Gordo,
ahead.
then we'll go back.
Well, so I think my takes on the solo laners. Reppy, I am interested in seeing more from. Like, I just kind of have him in my brain as like mage player when it comes to these kinds of events. I agree that the laning may need some work to be at like the tier 2 level. And I think it probably does need to be at the tier 2 level to make it through this particular pool of promo tournament. Because I think the mid lane role has some real heavy hitters in it for a promo tournament. I think seeing ABO and Sammykin here is a little daunting for a guy like Reppy. And my take on Geiger, I think this is a tough pool for Geiger in particular, both because I think top lane is a pretty strong pool, and because I feel like my recent exposure to Geiger has been that he has stepped up on average. Like, I think his baseline floor is higher, but he does have a tendency to, if he starts to fall behind, he tries really hard to save it and has a tendency to, like, really kind of chain into dying over and over again. I think you saw it a lot against Jenkins in the final. I think you saw for ACL. I think you saw it in some of the other series they played throughout ACL. And I think guys like Johnny Rockets and Karshiak are going to play like weird carries that you're not familiar with, and they may solo kill you once, and that's going to make that's going to cause that issue to become apparent. That's my
I agree.
specific recency based take.
I agree.
Mhm.
I definitely vibe with that point for sure. I think there's. Well, I'm going to derail us a little bit again, but I think a lot of these top laners are just like, I'm going to slam lane trying to hard carry champ, or like duelist champ, or like bruiser, or something wacky, which makes this tournament really fun. Even like Arbrio and Ariana. But before we get to that too far ahead on that, Bach, what's your vibe on the Lotus roster, my friend? How are you feeling? How does this team succeed in the promo tourney in your mind?
Good team. Weenie Hut Juniors run to get here, but they deserve to be here. We're going to see Peptide Princess and Sir Mix-a-Lot. If they decide to show up on the day, they're gonna bring the dub. I don't know too much about Reppy Geiger.
Wait, who the fuck is Peptide? Wait, what?
That's Shogo.
Least mean
That's
Shogo
Shogo.
nickname.
No, that's his solo queue account.
That's his
I know.
solo queue account. He's
I
Peptide
know.
Princess. Yeah. Because I think he. Well, now I don't want to say something that he hasn't done. Did he tweet about? I thought he tweeted about Reddit True Tide at one point or something. I think I don't know. That's
This guy.
Peptide,
This guy is looks maxing. He is the NACL clavicular. Never forget.
Okay, yeah. All right.
But yeah, no, a good team. I don't need to say anything more about these guys. It's kind of, I don't think they're the best team, but they're definitely not out of the running. It's just kind of, I give them like 50% chance. I give them a shot. I don't know how much. Well, we'll wait till the end. Right.
I think they're
Okay.
high floor. I think a lot of teams are like gambling on a position, right?
Yes, I will say that. I agree.
Yeah, like I think all these guys are pretty experienced. Even names like Reppy and Geiger, who you may not be super familiar with if you're an NACL only viewer. These guys have been around a long time. These guys have played a lot of OQs. Back when OQs was like a tournament structure, they've played best of fives. They've played ACLs. Like these guys have a lot of reps. I think every other team, even the NACL teams, except for like 9 Lives, has at least one guy that they have to gamble on a little bit. Maybe not really Blue Otter. Munchie's played a lot of Tier 3 as well. But 3 of the teams have some pretty inexperienced guys.
I agree. Yeah. All right. I think we're all on the same page that I really like the high floor point. I think that's like a clear thing, is that this team will come in with a pretty solid ground.
Also, fun
Our
org.
second-
Lotus has been going at this for
Yeah.
forever.
They have.
So it would be cool for Lotus to get an NACL rep in, even if it might not necessarily be what I predict.
It's also cool because this is only their second promo tourney, but Tier 3 ball knowers will feel like they should have more. That's because they've so many times crashed out at top 4, or like or before top 4, I guess.
Mhm.
So it's cool to see them here nonetheless. Another, I guess, not as far back org, but they've definitely been around, and we're familiar with them. The team that we keep butchering their name on by calling them the NACL winners, Contingent Esports. That is Johnny Rockets, Kaido, formerly known as City Witty for old heads, Asila, Daption at 80 carry, and then Breezy. So the first thing I want to say that's very fun about this team is that I would argue this team has 2 guys who have maybe the most to prove with this tournament on the same team. If you weren't NACL, people will know Asila, of course, was role swap top on Citadel, and then he never played competitively top lane, and then he was benched for the rest of the split, I believe 2 weeks after that point, to play a different lineup. So now he's trying to get back to NACL with this team. And then Breezy was kicked off of Conviction to keep it short. So he obviously, and then they ended up winning the whole thing. So definitely a guy that wants to prove that he can still be an NACL player. So this team, they're definitely, I really hope that they bring like the fire, right? Like they really lock in. These 2 guys in particular are like, guys, this means something extra to me. That's what I'm looking out for with this team. But how do we all feel about the more logistic approach? Like how do we think they can promote, I guess, is the question on it that I am curious about you guys thinking.
So I think.
You guys ever watched anime? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You guys ever watched?
And I have. I've seen some anime.
I've watched very little
Little bit.
anime.
A little bit.
Very
Yeah,
little anime.
don't worry. Okay, well these guys are like the like at the very beginning when like the bright-eyed main character gets their absolute shit handed to them by like a rival or like a mentor, and they're like, I will beat them. So now like, they're going to be motivated by the fire to win, and by the fact that Kaido and Asila are generational level shit talkers as well. Well, I did that podcast with the with Aloxia before. I was like, I thought I was giving them their flowers. I was like, yo, these guys are a couple little knuckleheads, but they're good players. And then City Witty, this little fucking bozos in my comment section, like, if I had that Supernova roster, no way that I'd be playing. My brother, you're not even in the league, man. Like, how are you able to talk about this? But no, I mean, that's honestly my goat. But he's right. Like, we had no business losing. But at the same time, props to people who can talk their shit before, it's easy to talk shit after. And that's, so W to him. I think they can win. They're all great players. I talked to Johnny Rockets as well. Insane work ethic. Love this guy. I had to shout him out. Daption, super good vibes guy. Breezy, there's no question that he deserves to be an NACL. It was just very clear that whatever team dynamic Conviction had was not a good fit for Breezy, or that Breezy wasn't a good fit for them. Like, it's not like a personal thing. It's just how it worked out. But his skill is good enough. So These guys, spoiler alert, I'm very high on this team. And I'm pretty sure Thin Uncle Phil is coaching these guys a bit.
Correct.
Even though it's not officially listed. He's also like unofficially coaching Dorado a bit, or helping Dorado, which I guess is the way to do it. So
he's also retired now, I guess.
Yeah, sure. And so is Sneezes, but wait till he comes back for the 15th split in a row,
listen, Dude, I'm just here to report the news, all right?
Yeah, we're stating the facts. We're stating what's being said, okay? What the actions are someone else's.
I think it is very funny to look back and like No, that you could have predicted it at the time, but I think it's funny that like Contingent is rewarded when Conviction sheds two players mid-season, and like the two orgs that can grab them as they fall qualify for the promo tournament insta. That's Contingent and 9 Lives this time around. Like Box said, I think Breezy definitely a player that deserves to be in the NACL, a player that was easily a top half support like coming into the season. I don't think there's a reason to think that he can't compete at that level, and I think he showed it at the promo tournament or the qualifier that he and just dumpstered quite a few kids along the way. Daption, funny enough, was playing with most of that Lotus roster in Aegis and for most of the season. I guess I don't know what really happened there. I don't know if it's Shogo's available and Shogo is a really hard carry player and that team needed a hard carry player, or if it's more of a, I don't know. I'm not going to make assumptions because I don't know. But I think he's become a pretty solid 80 carry player. He's been playing that position for a year and a half-ish now, I believe, maybe 2 years. For those who remember him from his short stint in NACL as a support. This dude is like the unluckiest tier 2 player ever, by the way. Like, if you look at Daption's career, like, he has always been good and has like never gotten like a really good tenure in the NACL. Like, he was on that really strong wildcard red team, like that generational wildcard red team that sweeped all the qualifiers, and he was the one player from that roster to not like get a huge opportunity off of it. Then he finally gets his shot on Cincinnati Fear as a rookie with rookie Toasty. I think he does pretty good. Like, that team had 2 rookies on it. It was kind of a budget roster. They still looked pretty good. I think they exceeded expectations. And then he just gets like dropped for them to gear up for a much stronger team anyway, and never gets back. And now he's role swapped and he's given it another go. I mean, unlucky run, brother, but good to see him still competing, and I still think he's a very good player. And then Johnny Rockets up in the top lane. This guy's UHSP CLOL run in 2025 is the stuff of legends. This team in CLOL 2025. So Johnny Rockets and Sir Zepper, which I thought was Zpri, but he was getting called Zepper on Aloxio's video. So now I think it's Zepper again.
Oh, saying it.
So Zepre, it's French.
Well, I'm not saying that one.
So
unlucky, brother. You're gonna have to pick
my
one.
bad for calling you Zpri for a year.
Landmine.
Yeah, I called him Zpri for.
They told us Zpri on that CLOL stream in 2025. I was on that with Ferris.
They also told you it was Mr. Quez or whatever too. Like, people are just jerking your chains over here.
Peter Dunn told me that, bro. Peter Dunn told me that. But I guess he's retired now too, so nobody's responsible for anything they say. Anyway. So that UHSP team, for those unfamiliar, in 2025 CLOL, the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy of St. Louis seeded directly into the lower bracket. So they're like a bottom 12-ish seed.
Say the full name, bro.
I just remember it. I remember because I said the full name on stream because it was hype. And then like somehow they beat UTexas and California Irvine and ISU all in the lower bracket. Like, they beat teams with like former pros and shit on them just out of nowhere and made like a top 8 run. It was insane stuff. And Johnny Rockets was a huge part of that.
I mean, he was the massive factor.
He was the main carry, I would say, of that team. Like,
yeah,
he's
100%.
the X factor on that team. And since then, he has been trying OQ runs, and this is his first time making it to promo tournament. He did pretty well in the previous one as well, where he finished top 12 with the Furious 5 in the previous qualifier. So he's made it. He's broken through the ceiling, and this is going to be his first go. I think this is like a dark horse team. I think this team has like enough interesting pieces going on that I could see them making a sneaky little run here if one of the heavy hitter teams doesn't really jive.
Yeah, I find this team interesting because I think, well, I'm hoping that. Hold on, I want to make sure I don't say something dumb. Okay, yeah. I'm hoping that conviction. Oh my god, I did it.
That's impressive. You like prepped not to do it, and you did it anyways. That's crazy. Anyways,
Shit.
That's 3, maybe
Contingent.
3.5, because I almost did it again at the beginning of my breezy spiel, but I saved myself.
Contingent. I really hope Contingent and Lotus somehow match up because I think they're like very different styles, right? Because I think Johnny Rockets is like a pure carry top laner who's gonna look to try and play like a bunch of duelists or like try and play like a super scale Gwen to punish a tank. But then bot lane, like we have hard lane Smash, hard carry Shogo, Peptide Princess, and then it's like Daption and Breezy, where Daption's just like the guy that's gonna like pick Ashe and be like, guys, I'm gonna play to like he's just a really smart mind, right? Like the guy's coached a little bit. He's played support and bottom lane. He understands like a ton of matchups. Like I think he understands on this team what Bach was talking about, how like not everybody can be the main character. Like on this team, he doesn't have to be. Like I think say what you want about what you think of Asila at the tier 2 level. When the guy plays tier 3. He usually just spanks the shit out of whoever he's playing. And also, I also think like there was a bunch of other shit going on the entire time he was with Ole Miss. Not even just last NACL split with Citadel. Just like it's been a treacherous, tumultuous time for him. So now that he's playing on a team where I don't think he has to worry about a lot of that, I think he'll be a lot more prone to a much better performance. And so those are two. Like I think their solo lanes are two clear carry guys. Daption's just going to be able to like kind of navigate the team around and set them up, and he might pick 80 carries to do that best. Like that's why I said Ashe so as one of them. So that's really different to Lotus, which will make it fun if they match up. But I do really believe in Daption leading this team. I think Johnny Rockets is really fun. I am also really pulling for Johnny Rockets to make the NACL.
Oh,
we lost you.
We lost you.
Did we lose my microphone completely?
You're back.
No,
Nope.
it's your cord. Might be your cord, buddy.
Might be.
Yeah, that's really not good for a caster.
Check
I really
how
hope
hard you're plugged in when we're done here.
Yeah, well, I'm not
I know
gonna
you can
even
say
try
Matt
and touch
said
it
that,
right now. That's a bad idea. My point I was making was I really want Johnny Rockets to make it to the NACL because I really enjoyed having Fiji as a rookie top laner, and we've talked endlessly about how his style is. Johnny Rockets is quite literally the antithesis. So if we had Johnny Rockets as a rookie top laner, and then we have Fiji in his like sophomore split, that'd be crazy. That'd be very fun. But yeah, I really believe in the sentiment too that this team could definitely promote, and maybe I see it a bit better than I do with Lotus. I just think this team might be the smartest of the 4 OQ teams when it comes to macro approach to mid to late game, map presence, stuff like that. I feel like this team with Dash. Okay, well I looks like I'm not gonna second.
Number 2.
Number
yeah,
2?
9 lives, right?
We got to talk about 9 lives, aka the polar bear in Arlington, Texas. Because
I didn't really, just real quick before we move on to 9 lives, because I haven't said anything about Contingent. I think my read on Contingent is that this is a team where I think their floor is lower than the other 2 teams they'll be competing with from the open qualifier teams to be able to promote into the NACL, but their ceiling can be higher. And I think a lot of that, in my opinion, rests on the solo lanes. I think that if Johnny Rockets can actually live up to the hype. I mean, I picture Johnny Rockets kind of as like what I thought of Ariana last year. Like I remember people, especially when Ariana was on like Mint Gaming, people were like, dude, Ariana is like him. Like he is a beast. And I was literally casting Dorado's promotion run on the B stream with Slayer. And like in real time, you could hear me get behind him as an NACL prospect. So like, but like I didn't have a lot of tape on the guy. There were a lot of people saying though that he was an absolute freak of nature. And like I feel like it's a similar story with Johnny Rockets for me, where like I haven't casted a ton of Johnny Rockets. The most recent time that I've covered this guy was literally the Eutectics run, and I think I did 1 series there. That's it. So that was a really long time ago. But like Bach was saying that he's got like an insane work ethic. A lot of people are saying that he's an absolute beast. I got to catch a little bit of contingent tape from the open qualifiers, and that's really it. And he looked good in those, but like I was kind of saying to myself, like, this is nothing insane. Like this isn't like this doesn't to me scream a prodigy, but I can still definitely see him having the makings of one. If he is able to unlock that potential, this team is definitely NACL bound. And then I think Asila, like you said, he has a lot to prove. And I do think that if he needs to perform, because like there are a lot of good mid laners here. So like if these solo laners can adapt and get to a high enough level, like that's what I'm looking out for. I don't think Daption is going to be the carry. I think that Daption has a good head on his shoulders with macro. And I think that one thing with Daption is like his mid to late game influence is higher than a lot of the other ADCs with maybe less experience. I think maybe his laning phase is inconsistent. Like sometimes he's good, sometimes he kind of can get ran. At least that was my read from ACL. And I think that Kaido is good. I think Kaido and Breezy are good. I think that Daption is good. I think it's up to Asila and Johnny Rocket. So kind of like the kind of like what we were saying about Lotus, right? Where it's like we have our established opinions on like the jungle and the bot lane, but like the solo lanes are the thing that we need to keep our eyes on.
I think that's fair. All right, let's get on to 9 lives. Let's get on to the Polar Bear in Arlington, Texas, as you said. This team needs no introduction. This is Philip, Will, Ablaze Olive, Meech, Clarice. You wanna start us off here, Bach?
Unk Nation.
Yeah.
Oh, and Ben
this
One is
team,
coaching this team, huh? Very nice.
Yeah, I don't actually know who Ben One is, but that's something I was going to bring up too. Is I don't know Linzu as a coach. I don't know Ben One as a coach. I don't know who's coaching Deathmark, and I don't think Phil's officially listed as coaching Contingent. So, where are all my coaches at?
Yeah.
Where's your content at?
Ben 1/1 Ben. I know he's a challenger player. He was coaching
Yeah,
some
smart
of
guy,
those.
probably.
Yeah, he was coaching some of those milk teams.
Yeah.
For a while, he coached a couple of generations of Milk Esports. Yeah, he's done a couple. He did that Shanghai Pins team last time.
Oh, so he's Quest affiliated.
He's
Okay,
Quest
got it.
affiliated for sure. Yes, he's.
Wait, if he coached a couple generations of milk teams, does that mean that he coached milk, yogurt, and cheese, or
it does.
just
That is
yogurt?
what that means.
Good one. Anyways, yeah,
Thanks, man.
Philip
Dog.
is the Daption of 9 Lives. I like Philip a lot. He's the ultimate vibes guy. We tried him out for Supernova this past split. Ended up going with Hoarder per my choice, not because Philip is bad by any means, just because like I thought Hoarder was a better fit for what I was trying to do. Will
Also, Hoarder was your Meech Breezy grab, right? Because he was going to be on the NRG team, right?
He was supposed to.
Until he got stabbed in the back like Julius Caesar, A2.
Well,
NRG?
because they had a Breezy Meech grab for Zamudo. Got left.
Yeah, it was like a trickle. It was a trickle down effect.
Yeah.
and it's all because of the U.S. visa government.
Yeah,
there we go. Something like that.
And it's all led to Philip and 9 Lives qualifying for the OQs.
Philip is great, good vibes guy. Every team needs a vibes guy, and he's good at not taking a lot of draft resources. Has some creative picks. Will, aggressive player, pretty good meta champion pool. I think maybe like when he has the confidence of strong solo laners like he has on this team, he's going to succeed. He needs somebody to kind of like get him up to date on the macro. ABO, good. He's like a dad basically, but also not at the same time. Just really, like, I mean, you guys know ABO. Like, needs no introduction. Meech and Clarice, this is kind of my big question mark. Meech did not look very impressive on Conviction. But I know this guy's been in competitive since before I was born, and I'm 32 this year. So there's a very good chance that on this roster with like Clarice, with like a different vibe, that he's going to show his stuff. I was just wondering though. I wonder if Meech and Breezy had some beef.
I mean, I wouldn't know about that, but I can speak on. I mean, you said that you thought he underperformed on Conviction, which I definitely think you can Yeah, that's a criticism. I definitely think that's true in a way. My biggest concern is that I don't really feel it's gotten a whole lot better on Nine Lives from the tape that I've seen. I think that ABO and Philip and Will look good, which is important, obviously. But like Meech to me, we were just talking about the contingent players of Asila and Breezy having something to prove. Meech is in that same category, right?
Sure.
And I feel like while Asila and Breezy are stepping up, Meech is not doing that to the same degree. There were a lot of OQ series that I watched where I was expecting them to do better, and they just weren't. Like they really, really struggled into Chrome Manui bot lane, which is like a respectable bot, which is like a respectable bot lane to get ran by because it's Chrome Manui. But
It's my
like,
old bot lane.
yeah, but like for someone who, has something to prove, I just felt like there should have been more, and there really wasn't. So I am a bit concerned about him. I think this top side is fine, and I think Claritz is good. Meech, though, from the tape I've seen, is like kind of concerning.
I think this top side is better than fine. I think
you're right. I was using, I was like, normal adjectives I use.
Sure. Yeah. Like we know what they are, right? I don't think anybody has to come in with a hot take on Philip of Blaze Olive.
I mean, I think they're the best solo lanes in the entire tournament, including the NACL teams.
Both.
Just take Shogo and Mixture and put them on that team, and then this team can play like top 4 NACL. I think.
I mean, I would agree. I think they'd be a playoff team in the NACL if you did that combo. Yeah.
I could see it. I think it's definitely
and
doable.
Hey, if one of these OQ teams promotes in the NACL, this happens every time. maybe that team just forms. If one of Lotus or Nine Lives is the one that promotes, and the other one doesn't, it could very well happen.
Yeah.
Aren't they required to keep the org is required to keep the players? But
I
think
keep
other
5
NACL
of 7,
teams can
including
poach.
the subs, unless they've changed the rule.
5 of 7, including the subs. So technically, it could work.
Can NACL teams that exist poach any players from the
yes, and then you
promoting
get
roster?
like a free buy. You get like a freebie. That's how.
Sick.
That's what happened to when CCG first promoted. Remember CCG promoted with
that was before my time.
CCG
Bradley,
first promoted
Yukino.
Yeah, it was
right?
Bradley and Instinct and
Yukino. Right?
Yukino, yeah, it was like a really strong team, and they just
it Crimson?
And Crimson was the only one they got to keep. Everybody else they just got
they got
cannibalized by the other NACL teams.
They had E Red as their sub too. I remember that.
Yeah,
because
So assuming the rules haven't changed, which they often do, so I could be wrong. The rule has historically been you need to keep 5 of 7 if you promote in. And then you get to unlock your roster if you can survive your inaugural split. That's kind of what leads to like the big cycling of teams. Is a lot of teams can't survive that initial initial cycle, and being forced to keep the same roster that you qualified with is hard. But obviously it should be the rule. Otherwise, it leads to obnoxious stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with Claritz gets like lumped in with like these veterans, but he has never played an ACL other than as a sub, correct?
It's just the sub role, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's been a sub on a few different NACL teams, but I don't think he's ever been a consistent player. And I just don't know that he brings the firepower that like a Mixture or a Breezy or a Rovex do. For those bot lane 2v2s. So I don't think that's doing Meech any like huge favors. I do also think like Meech has come back from his hiatus weaker than he left. He left when he was in LCS and doing okay. So, that's I don't think that's too big of a surprise.
Time is the enemy. Time is the enemy of us all.
Time not playing League of Legends is certainly the enemy of us all, and I think he was definitely doing some of that. So I just know that this guy has a really high ceiling that he can hit in regards to Meech. I don't know if the couple of weeks since the OQ are going to be the time to hit it, but I will always have like a little bit of faith in this guy in the back of my head because I was really high on him while Bach was in the womb, apparently. Back when he was on like Mirage, like this esports electronique and like and stuff like that. So big Meech fan here, but agree that he has not looked himself lately. So I'm not super high on him individually coming in. That said, I think Philip Willablaze Olive can gloss over a lot, and this team has 3 former LCS players on it. I think
That's pretty good.
bet.
Yeah.
It's not a bad bet. Yeah, coming into this event.
Yeah. This team has the highest floor to me of all the qualifier teams. I think.
I agree.
I think they're. I guarantee that they will play a series for a spot. Is what I'm going to say here. Like they will be in a best of 5. That the winner of that game, that series, will promote. Like that's what I think this team will be. Will they promote? I guess you'll have to find out in a little bit. But I do think if they don't, it will be, for me, maybe bottom lane. I am curious to see, because I agree with Bach in the sense that Will is aggressive. I think there are a lot of aggressive junglers that he's going to match into. Bio is definitely one. I think Kaido gets pretty aggressive. I mean, he's got to back up the talk somehow with his Rift play. And then I think Munchie is definitely kind of like we always use like the solo Q points, but it's more in essence of like he knows how to get really fed fast on carry junglers, and that can sometimes be wanting to go aggressive. So I'm excited to see. I'm also predicting obviously that Will match into one of those 2 NACL former junglers, how that matchup goes. But I do think that like this, like Philip and ABO, not even just in how well they'll do in lane, but what they'll bring to the table on like guiding the team through trickier spots, late game spots, stuff like that, will put them into a spot where they'll be able to play for a promotion.
And I think, it's interesting. I do think they have the highest floor. I also think they might have the highest ceiling.
Without a doubt.
Just how likely they are to hit it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't think there's definitely no mid laner out of the 4 OQ teams that can compete with a Blaze Olive in that area. Guy's really good. I promise you, Will is way younger than you think he is. I promise you that. Take your guess, and you're going to be 2 years over at least.
Okay, 17.
Yeah. That's not your earnest guess, Slayer. You're cheating. I know you are.
My earnest guess would be like, well, I don't have an earnest guess because I'm gonna adjust.
I
it
ruined
to
it
what
for you.
said,
Well, there you go. Now
yeah.
I get to be right.
Well, okay. My
you're
guess would be my guess would be 23.
Yeah, you're 2 years over.
Wow, I would have also guessed 23 with Gordo's logic. That's hilarious.
Is he 20? He's 21.
He's 21.
He's 21.
Yeah.
Will got started really young. Will was playing for Dig Academy at like 16.
I'm a failure.
Yeah,
Okay,
Will,
anyway.
Will got started really young. Anyway, so this is
Relax.
exactly the point. No, so yeah, I'm excited for 9 Lives. I think I'll probably be predicting them to make it. But let's get on to the real dark horse, the real underdogs here, which is Deathmark Esports. We did that pre-OQ ranking thing with Aloxio, Quax, and this team was not in our contenders list. So this is the one that really marks us as frauds. I think the other 3 were in our Promo Tournament contenders list. So 3 out of 4 ain't bad. But boy, did we miss the mark on these guys. This is Karshiak, Verdict, Sir Zepre.
There you
How
go.
did I do?
Close enough.
All right, Good Boy and Potato, Admirable Potato, if that helps anybody in identifying.
It actually helped me.
Yeah,
It did help me. Yeah.
there you go. Wow. Crazy to see these guys make it. Full French-speaking team, I think. I don't know if they common French, but I do believe they are all.
They probably do. Disgusting.
French
I
or
know.
they French
That's
Canadian?
disgusting.
They're French
Well,
Canadian, but
That's
the
the
language they speak.
French by
there is
association.
French.
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
Well, but
they're-
French Canadian is
I'm sure
decently
it's a
different than-
dialect. I'm sure, yeah, like
Well, yeah,
I feel like it's more
was
than a
just, I was just
dialect.
wondering. I was just wondering, like specifically. Anyway,
Is it a totally?
It's probably
I don't think it's a
dialect.
totally different.
No, it's a
language.
dialect. You're right. It's a
the
dialect.
same
It's a dialect.
language.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know.
they use
Um,
different words.
Well,
there
this
is
is
not a
Not our
lot.
neck.
There is not a lot I have to say about this team because I don't have a lot of tape on these guys. If anyone from Deathmark watches the podcast and would like to give me or Slayer or RMC or Yanni tape that isn't expired raffle files, I would really value that because they didn't have a ton of coverage during OQs as far as I know.
I can get you
but
tape of the players individually, but yeah, as five.
Yeah,
that's
but
just
like
hard.
as like a team overall, it's hard to talk about them. But like,
If you watch ACL, you'll have a lot of tape on a lot of these
and
guys,
yeah,
so.
you've also got ACL. But like this team it's really fun that they actually made it. Like I think Verdict is unironically like has a future in him. Like I would say of all of the players, this guy's impressed me the most. And yeah, it's like a little bit of jungle bias, but like,
You know why?
why?
I know why. I know what Bach's about to say.
What are you gonna say, bro?
Because he just got a session from the real up and coming talent, Warrior. He got the one-on-one coaching live on
Shirtfire
stream.
did too. Shirtfire did too.
So it's going to be those two that promote. Those are my guesses. I'm locking them in right now.
Shirtfire's the
We can end the
ex-LCS
podcast.
player that he's been teasing about.
Turn the
coaching.
shit off.
LCS, buddy?
Shirtfire played like
Sorry.
one game at LCS for Team Liquid once upon a time.
No. We're talking about Warrior, buddy. Come
I
on.
know
Give
Warrior
it the
was
time.
teasing that he had coached an LCS player, and he wouldn't
Yeah,
say who it
and-
was, and then he finally
and-
came out recently and said it was Shirtfire.
It was Shirtfire.
Yeah. But what is LCS? What is any of this compared to the greatness?
That's
that
what
we
I'm
can
saying.
live
That's
Of
the thing.
Warrior,
saying.
yeah.
They're
Exactly.
flocking up, dude. Blabber's up next, and he needs it.
Blabber definitely needs it.
That wasn't my
interesting.
guess, by the way. My guess was going to be that Quax was high on Verdict because he's an assassin jungler specifically.
Yeah, that's also would have been my guess. But
My fault. Sorry to cut you off mid tirade. By the way, I didn't mean to.
No,
No, you're good. I see. Like, I wish I had more to say about this team because it's really exciting that they made a lower bracket run. Like, I was against them at every turn. I said Dead Region was going to make it over them. I was not under the impression they were going to make it very far. If you look at the first, like episode that we did with Aloxio, like none of us were expecting great things from DME, and like they blew expectations out of the water, and like that is really respectable. I just wish I knew how they did it, and that makes me sad a little bit. That makes me a little sad.
I have to root against this team for actually, or I'm gonna get mad at Leaguepedia,
Okay,
or
are
I'm
you
gonna
like
get
mad at the
or,
French?
or I'm gonna get mad at the French. Why is their name Deathmark E'
It's
Sports?
a French thing.
It's the French, dude.
Is this the French dude?
It's
French thing.
disgusting.
What
It's
is that?
shameless.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
You know
well,
what's worse is I actually think it's
sports. I don't know.
I think it's actually a typo too because
we
I guess I don't. Here,
Mhm.
wait. Let me go to their Twitter and see.
I don't know, dude.
On their
Yeah, so, like-
actual.
Okay, never
Yeah, it's a
mind. So
typo.
they're called
It's
Deathmark
Mariana's
Esports
fault.
on Twitter now too, but for the longest time they were Deathmark Esport, no S.
Oh, well, that's also a crime.
And that is
Well,
their
They do that.
Twitter
French
handle.
crime.
And they've registered for multiple ACLs under the name Deathmark Esport, no S. But now their
Okay.
Twitter says
I never
Esports,
noticed. I
so-
probably called them Deathmark Esports on accident.
But it's okay. You didn't pronounce the apostrophe, so you were already wrong the whole time.
Yeah, you're
But-
already wrong.
Yeah.
All seriousness aside, I find it interesting that Quax is the player that he thinks has a future the most is Verdict. Not that I'm saying you're wrong, Quax, but for a little bit now, I've been buying the Karshiak stonks.
I agree with you.
I think this guy could be I could see this guy being an NACL top.
I mean,
player,
he
so I'm glad
gives
that
me
he's here.
Arbrio vibes, and Arbrio
Yeah.
is on AMI and was in the NACL, is working to get back there. But like, yeah, I agree with you.
That's just because you guys have been breathing the same air as me for a while, because I've
Well,
been
yeah, it's
talking
your
about
fault.
Karshiak and Arbrio
Yeah.
in the same sentence for like a year now. I love both those guys. I love Karshiak. I've been really high on him for a bit. Think he's the youngest player in this tournament. Not 100%
How old
sure
is he?
there. I think he's 19, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
So,
Awesome.
NA still has young talent. Still
2006, my
happens.
lord.
I think he's like a month younger than Arbrio too, so they're both up there. But Karshiak's a Riven 1 trick, which is the best origin story for top laners in this region.
Yep.
That's how the best ones show up. Really not just in this region. That's because that's true for like Broken Blade and stuff too. So best origin story for top laners period is former Riven 1 trick. Still a big carry guy. Will bust out the Irelia or the Akali and stuff like that. And in the right scenarios. And yeah, I think he's just high potential. I think like every carry top laner, he has to clean up the overextending and the dying every time the jungler's on his screen stuff. But and you know, some players overcome that and some players don't, and we'll see which bucket he falls into. But I've been very impressed with him so far. I share Quax's hype on Verdict. I have a soft spot for Verdict. I remember him like qualifying with Team Ambition in 2022 for top 16. That was like a fun run. Sir Zepre was part of that Johnny
Zepre.
Rockets UHSP run. Really
Yep.
like him. Good boy. You saw for one game in NACL earlier this split. Admirable Potato is like the craziest shout here to me. This guy's been playing tier 3 for a very long time. And it's like never really gotten a shot on like a good team. So it's interesting to me. I also haven't seen the footage, so I have no idea what he looks like here, but I think, you know, maybe Bach's next level, and this doesn't apply to him, but I always find it very hard to evaluate support when the team is just getting ran across the board. And I've never seen Potato on a team that was able to play another good team and not get ran across the board. So it seems like he's got one now. So I'm very interested to see what he looks like.
I'll just go and say these guys are a little bit off my radar as well. Not because I don't think they're good, but just because like nobody expected them to be here, and I'm pretty sure half the roster has never been here. I know Verdict's been around for a hot minute.
Never like
a
promo
hot
tournament,
minute.
though. Yeah, same
Never
with
promo
Potato.
tournament,
Really?
yeah.
No
You never
way.
made.
No.
I feel like this.
No.
Oh, this guy's just been playing amateur since like 2020. Then okay.
Which one?
If there's
Potato?
one group of
Um,
people that would know promo tourney, it's probably us.
I was gonna say, yeah, you guys are a little
Probably
bit subject
Gordo.
matter experts, huh? But I did work with Verdict and Sir Zepre for a little bit on another roster, and I think they're good players. They're just really aggressive, and I think that's going to pay off if they can hold the aggression. I think a lot of the thing is when the stakes are high and you're in playoffs. You see this all the time. You get so many games where it's like 15 minutes and the scoreline 0-0. I think games like these are going to be the death for Deathmark Esports. They want them volatile and they want to do crazy shit. So, yeah, I mean, it's just going to be like, will they beat the nerves or will they just get crushed by people with maybe like combined decades of experience on them on these other rosters? So, that's kind of all I have to say about them. I want to see more, but my hopes are kind of very low.
Dude, you know what's funny is I think Roll Quests hurts this team. This is a team that I think could, because Zepre and Good Boy both play each other's
Interchangeably.
roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this could have been like a Ducky Getters situation.
Yeah, rough beans,
Where,
rough beans spot.
Like they would roll
Yeah.
swap depending on the draft, but you can't really do that now with Roll Quests. Unfortunate.
Good to know.
Standardizing the game. I lost my ability to think any further about Deathmark because you mentioned Team Ambition, and I just kept thinking, fuck you, Prots, over and over again. In
You
my
still
head.
want those $15 that the TOs use, Slayer?
No, I don't want my money. I don't need my money. The other people's money.
Hey, he owes me
I'd
like
block that
30,
out of my head
bro.
for-
I know. It's
$30?
yeah, it's not just you.
I actually don't think he owes me any money. By the way, I don't think I. I don't think I.
It's me and TDS he owes money, but it's fine.
But fuck you, man. Never come back unless you got a paycheck.
It's me,
That-
TDS, and like 1%, and then 99% to his roster.
yeah, that's how the caster wages versus player wages break down, which I get. It makes sense. The last note I would have about Deathmark Esports, is regardless of the outcome of a promotion tourney like this, I hope like these guys, even if they are guys that have been around for a while, not saying like this is like one of their big moments of their careers, of like of a short career, all that. The bottom line is there's going to be a pretty good chunk of the NA region's eyeballs on you, and even if I don't think a lot of people are going to have them getting the NACL spot. Like, take advantage of getting tape down of you playing in a tournament like this, right? Like don't be afraid to do I just hope they don't compromise this identity that Box kind of talking about, like you guys are knowing them as, like, own that shit, you know what I mean? And it goes back to the nerves point. Like that's what's going to be most valuable for a team like this in a tournament like this, is what I would say. And also, I know I just said that I nobody has you promoting Deathmark Esports. I don't know fucking anything, so if you do it, feel free to meme the shit out of me as the idiot. Oh, that goes to anybody out here. I always like to make this clear before I talk about a bunch of players that I haven't talked about or in a while, or like a different segment. Listen, man, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about a lot. I'm inferring. So if feel free to meme me. It's not, I can't shit on people if I don't get shit on. Like that's a simple logic. So I need to make that blanket statement. I feel like I do that every month or every third episode. That being said, though, I don't think this team will promote to the NACL.
I don't either. I do think that their best matchup, and with that we can get into predicting the bracket a little bit. I think, funny enough, I think their best matchup might be Lotus. I don't know. Actually, it's hard to tell. Because on the one hand, it's like I think they need to play volatile and they need to get ahead through top and jungle. And I think that Lotus is the team that will allow them to do that the most. But then again, I do also think that Good Boy and Potato will get run over by Shogo and Mixture. So I still would not be predicting them there.
Yeah, I actually would say that Schernfire, if anybody's who's going to be able to deal with Verdict's bullshit, it's going to be Schernfire. And I think what you said though about their bot lane Shogun Mixture just completely running Deathmark's bot lane is true. I would say that potentially Deathmark's best matchup would be into 9 lives, for the reason being Philip's got a lower econ champion pool. Karsiak has the ability to kind of punish some of these safer top blinds that are traditionally picked. He's got some weird shit he can play if Philip blinds a Gragas that he's known to do, or a Scion. Oh, sorry, I don't want to give away the whole draft. And then Will,
I think everybody
while
knows
being
Philip
very
Gragas, bro.
Okay, well, sorry. There's deeper picks. There's deeper
Sure.
picks in the tank, right?
Don't go too crazy.
Yeah. Where Will is a good player, but I don't know if he's got Schernfire's reps in, and I feel like Meech and Clarice aren't going to punish the bot lane of Good Boy and Potato as much. This is a full Canadian matchup bot side. Wait, this is almost Team Canada versus Team Canada. Will's the only imposter here. You see this?
Yeah.
9 lives versus Deathmark. That's
Holy
crazy
shit.
work. Where's the American talent, guys? Come on. What? Wait.
Dude, I'm seeing
Are
these
all
ENC
Canadians
rosters
losers?
form, and I'm saying the same.
Wait, are Canadians all losers though? Why are there so many Canadians in the relegation tournament?
Dude, there's I hate to tell you this, brother, but go look at the NACL.
It's not anymore.
There's a disproportionate
I
amount of
think
Canadians there too, man.
It's just a Canadian
man.
takeover, bro. I mean, just think about
America,
we have too short of an attention span, bro. All of our kids are stuck playing
We
Fortnite.
suck. Oh,
Get them
man,
off Fortnite and
not
COD,
bad,
bro.
dude. Anyways, but
It's
yeah,
not
I
bad,
think
but it's not League, Come on.
I agree. We need more people. Yeah, I think they match up poorly into Lotus. I think they match up. I don't know about Contingent, and I think they have their best matchup into 9 lives, but I think they lose all 3 matchups head to head. So,
Okay, well, so let's kind of, I guess the best way to end this is to kind of, we can all take turns kind of walking through our brackets. We don't need to say how we think every matchup's going to go, right? But kind of give me the greatest hits scenario through some of these brackets. So let's box the guests. So I'm actually going to do the opposite of what everyone's thinking and have them go last. I think that's most interesting. So Quax, I guess you've also on another podcast already said who you're promoting, but walk us through your bracket, man. Call your shot. How do you see this promo tourney playing out?
So I think what's going to happen is Blue Water are going to face off against Contingent in the winner's bracket, and they're going to win 3-2. 3-1. I'm going to say 3-1. So I think Blue Water 3-1 contingent to requalify into the NACL in the upper bracket. And then I think in the lower bracket, it will be a bout of I'm going to say it will be contingent or I'm going to say it'll be it's tough. So it's contingent, 9 Lives, Lotus, and AMI are all in my head.
That's a lot
want
of field.
I want to say, and if I'm saying that it's going to be a match of contingent versus Blue Water in the upper bracket best of 5, then that automatically means that that automatically means that contingent make it into the next qualifying series that you have to play in order, because if you win the one in the lower bracket right after you lose the upper bracket one, then you're in.
Right.
So then that just assumes. So then, who are they going to meet? Is the question here, and I'm gonna keep going up to bat, and I'm gonna say Lotus. So I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be Lotus versus contingent for the final spot, and I will take Lotus 3-2. So I'm gonna say it's Lotus and Blue Water.
Lotus and Blue Water. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I think lower brackets are going to be fun to see what.
Yeah,
Lower bracket's
for
gonna be a
sure.
blast.
I'll step up.
Gordo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with Blue through winners bracket. I think these guys have good vibes within the organization. I think they're well equipped organizationally to be able to handle the stress of the open qualifier. This is something that Sneezes would always talk about every promo tournament, is that there's like a huge incumbent disadvantage because the 2 teams relegating have been sitting here for like 6 weeks, like stewing in how shit their tournament was and just like wanting to go next and get a new roster. And the 4 teams coming up have just like had, in many cases, like the best tournament run of their lives and are like on top and are like vibing with their new teammates and have known nothing but success with their new rosters. That said, I think Blue Otter is a team that has like consistently, especially with like the staff, been able to. I know they don't have Uncle Phil anymore, but still, they have Sneezes still. They still have Bully at the helm. They've been able to turn around some bad seasons historically. I think Sammykin's an awesome vibes guy to have in the room. I think Rovex is a really good shot caller. I think they'll be able to pull it together and they'll be able to get back in. I also think that the story of this tournament is going to be whether or not your mid jungle can hang. That's my prediction. And I think Munchie Sammykin can hang. I think Will Blaze Olive can hang. I think I'm going to be predicting 9 Lives to make it. I think they probably play Lotus in the lower bracket finals. And it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close. I can see where the Lotus argument comes from. I'm deferring to 9 Lives, but I won't be shocked if I end up wrong. I think that's like a 3-2 coin flip it series.
Well, thanks, Gordo. That's basically 95% of my points on this bracket. Yeah, I'm. I guess what I'll say, I'm also with Blue Otter out of that first qualification series, the upper bracket qualification series, whatever you want to call it. The last thing I'll say is I love to do picks to try and manifest. As a vibes guy myself, I like to call. And I'm simply doing this to protect some of my fellow NACL community members. I could pull up messages from multiple people that are, quote, if Blue Water relegates out of the NACL, I'm jumping off, insert random landmass of your choosing. I have a bunch of quotes of that, so I'm also included in that. I think it would be very bad if we don't have an org like Blue Water in the NACL anymore, especially with what I won't go into, but I've heard, and maybe a lot of people at this point know, that we'll have some more org switching going on, maybe for summer, if not summer before next year. So even more org turnover. We need orgs that will stay around that aren't collegiate teams, who some of them have actually renamed and played under different names already too. Blue Water, through all that, has just been Blue Water. So I for the health of the NACL, I really need this org to stay up. and I will manifest it, but I also just believe that they will stay up. And then the lower bracket. I think the lower bracket's going to be very fun because I do think, not to be mean to Deathmark Esports, I think all the other teams that I haven't said could get that spot. I think there's a world where AMI do it. I think there's a world where Lotus do it, Nine Lives do it, Quax and Gordo's picks. I even think that this contingent team could promote back in. What I will say is I do think that bottom lane matchups are more important than I've seen them in most promo tourneys of past. I still think mid jungle is very valuable, Gordo, but I think bottom lane is in a spot in the meta, just 2026 in general, where it can be a really big driving force. And with that being said, I am going to go for, I guess, a little bit of a more spicy pick in the essence that I don't have 9 lives in the other promotion matchup. I'm going to have it be Contingent versus Lotus, and I'm going to have Lotus promote. So
Yeah, get on my side.
I will back the fact that Fire is a really good driving force, and I think it's going to be Shogo's tournament. So Shogo, you know what? Shogo and Mixture's tournament, because I think Mixture is very, very good. I also really want Mixture to be back in NACL as a great support.
I think he got shafted by the off season for sure. I think he was really good on Dorado.
So that's my driving force. We'll see how that turns out. All smart, all knowing Bach. How does your promo tourney play out?
I wish I was both of those things, but
if you were all knowing, you wouldn't be in legal in G Sports. So
true. But I would be knowing. So I'm technically working for Blue Otter, but I'm coaching their Game Changers roster in Europe right now. So not NACL affiliated. So it's allowed. True. But I'm not going to be biased at all. I'm going to blazing hot take. I will not elaborate at all. AMI is going to win the upper bracket promotion and get back in, retain their spots.
Okay.
I'm Doctor Strange. I see the timeline where it happens, and I'm going to believe in that timeline because I want these guys to do it. But I think it's going to be Blue Otter versus 9 Lives, and I think 9 Lives is going to be Blue Otter to be the other team.
Wow. So
NLE and AMI, or 9LE and AMI.
NLE Chopper and AMI to get into NACL. There you go.
And no more Blue Water.
Their like acronym or whatever the fuck you want to call it is literally the number 9 and then LE. It's not NLE like
Why did they do LE?
Like
they
Choppa,
should just do They should just do 9L. That'd be better. I don't know why they do the E after it.
Or L9. They could do L9. Ooh.
Wow, Bach. Listen, man. You better stay safe out there on them Twitter streets, saying on a public podcast. Well, I guess you said somewhere else too. That you think Blue Water's done in the NACL.
I don't want them to be done.
You heard it here first, folks. Bach wants Blue Otter out of all. He wants them out of tier 2. He hates. Sorry, dude. We got to clip farm somehow. Okay,
we got to clip farm. No,
you know nobody's gonna watch the podcast.
That's gonna be the opener, actually.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, hey, listen.
That's it.
We're all in different spots. A lot of the Salt Mine boys are Blue Otter up, and then I guess being Quacks are identical. Yeah. Well, that okay. That's fun. Bach, you're a very wise man at your very old age that you've already stated. Apparently,
so wise.
What I want you to leave. You know, let's pretend like some of these players are like watching this episode. I think some will. I don't think a lot of them will watch this far, or they'll skip forward. But impart some wisdom on the many that are playing in this promotion tournament. That is a very impactful spot. I know you haven't played in a promotion tournament, but like, let's get some Bach wisdom to close this episode out.
Let me see. Let me think.
I have put you on the spot, so
yeah, no, that is crazy. So, I'll tell them the same thing that I tell my players before an important match. It's like, no matter how good you are, no matter how good you think you are, everybody who has ever played a game in their life has lost at some point. Losing is natural. It is part of being alive. The best teams are the ones that know how to take a loss and not let it destroy them. So I would encourage every player to remember that this moment, this tournament is not their entire lives. It's just a moment, and whatever happens, you can use this as a chance to grow, or you can let it keep you trapped and stuck in misery. So it's a game. We're here to have fun, make the most of it, and regardless, like make this an experience that you can look back on and feel good about and not have regrets. So win or loss.
Hell yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All
Clap it
right.
up.
I think that's going to round out the episode. The boys. Oh, go ahead, Slayer.
One more thing. Okay, we should have done this earlier. We kind of alluded to it because Quax told the spoiler story, but congratulations, Gavin, bro, on the promo tourney broadcast. Make sure you tune into the promotion tournament. This is something Quax has been working very hard for a very long time. I'm very proud of you, buddy, and I am honored that I will be with you on one of those days.
This is
So
weirdly
we'll
your
have a
first
blast.
promo tournament too, right, Slayer? You just skipped it and went right to
Yes,
NACL,
I skipped
and now
promo
you're-
tournament, went to NACL, and then they let me back to promo tournament.
Yeah, it's
so-
it's like when you like back in the old days of like climbing league ranked, where if you were good enough, you could skip a division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It was like you did that, but
And then if you lost enough
demoted
games,
from
you went back
that.
down.
Yeah.
And I went back
And
down.
then you well, you didn't demote, but you had like a provisional seat. This is your provision.
Right.
Yeah, you're chilling though. I'm really excited for it. Thank you, everyone who has supported me over the years to make this possible. It is a huge honor to be on the cast.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hell yeah,
All
man.
right, and then thank you, of course, to Bach for coming on here.
Yes, thank you, Bob.
Second Salt Mine appearance. First time I've seen him here. I missed the last time. It's always fun chatting with you, my friend, and I look forward to more of not your coaching. I don't really care about that. Your edits on social media, man.
Yeah.
Those are
Anything you want to
some
shout out,
fire
Bach,
edits.
before we close out?
Shout out my Game Changers roster in EU. They're a pleasure to work with. They're all super hard workers. I love them. I love them all. I've only been with them for a little
which
bit.
team is
but
that? What's
great.
the team name?
Blue Otter.
Oh, okay, it is Blue Otter. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you replaced retired Thin Uncle Phil. I forgot about that.
Yes.
So-
Yeah, kick that old man out. No,
Get that
he
guy
luckily-
out of
he gave
there.
me the slot.
All
He
right.
recommended me. He vouched for me heavily. Big shout outs to Uncle Phil too.
Hell yeah.
All right, that's it.
All right. Thank you very much, Bach. Thank you for everybody at home for tuning on in. We will see you all next season. Tune in to that promo tournament. It kicks off this Thursday? Guys who are on the stream?
Wednesday.
All right.
Wednesday.
I'll get
Wednesday
the
through
set visit out
Saturday.
there in time then. And tune in the rest of this week for that promo tournament, and we will see you all for the next season. Adios.
Adios.